We'll start with chapter 1. Everybody there? Chapter 1, I want to start where the instructions from God. The instructions come from God. And before I start in, man, I want to know, have anybody here ever felt, no, for sure God has talked to you? In some kind of way, or a dream or vision, or you heard a still voice, you know God has talked to you. And have God talked to you to do something that was sometimes out of your character, or even some things that you like, oh, I know we ain't doing that. I know we not on that. Even as I look, even through history, the churches and through the prophet, we just celebrated a new heaven Passover, correct? Melchizedek founded this order, and he did not have a new heaven Passover. He did not have empress and prince and princess. So that means King Peter must have heard a voice from God. And he had to what? Trust the instructions. Right? It's sometimes hard and difficult for a person to trust the instructions of the Spirit when it doesn't line up with tradition. Am I talking to somebody? People will start thinking something is wrong with you, or you know how they do. They say, well, he's not leaving it like. And just, I'm looking at Hosea, been a prophet. What is the people going to say about him when he brings this type of woman in the church or around the people, or they know that this is who he sleeping with? You know, I know we say we don't worry about what people say, but do we? Can I get a witness? Do we worry about what people say? Even when God talks to us, we like, oh, wait a minute, how is that going to look to the people, right? And so the third verse says, so he went and took Gomer. He went and he took Gomer, a woman, not only a woman of whoredom, she was raised, born of whoredom. This is her family tradition. They lived in an area like Sodom and Gomorrah. This is what they did. They raised, and that's all she knew. But God told him to go to this land and find a woman, particularly not a queen, not a princess, not one that's fair and lovely, but a woman of whoredom. These are the instructions, right? Amen. Let's look, if you will, how Hosea, but he did what? Third verse says he went and followed the instructions. He took a woman by the name of Gomer, and then the Bible even goes to say in that verse chapter how she had children, and they named the children, and they all represent something. But if you will, move with me to the second chapter. The second chapter, here God is showing similarities between Gomer and Israel, the wife, and the people of Israel. How does he do this? Let's look at the fourth verse. The fourth verse of the second chapter, it says, and I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredom. Now here, God is not just talking about Gomer. He's also talking about the children of Israel. Amen. Why is he doing that? Because the children of Israel continue to follow other gods. Amen. Continue to find other gods before them. They continue to seek other things. Aren't we like that? That's right. We know right. We know God. We know what we should do, but yet we still continue to sin and error, and then yet we justify. Can I get a witness? We justify our mistakes, and we justify our error. Now, God said he will not have mercy on Gomer or her children, and he will not have mercy on the children of Israel, for their mother has played the harlot. And so what he's saying here is, even the generations before you and the generations before you, I continue to seek idol gods. As many times as I've sent a prophet, as many times as I've sent Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, and different people, you still continue to go back. Oh, when I look at the church, can I pause for a 20-second commercial? Well, we had Melchizedek. We had Prophet Peter. That's right. And then from them, there was many. Prophet Joseph. Benjamin. Andrew. Prophet Daniel. 2 John. John the Revelation, right? There's many that has came. Maybe something wrong with me, but we still lost people. That's right. Okay, I know I ain't gonna get no help, Jesse, but these people have sacrificed their life, and yet we still plan the harlot. That's right. Come on, somebody. I know this ain't how y'all want to hear this morning. We're still seeking out the idol gods. We're not only that, I wish I had a witness. We even begin to make them a god. That's right. God keeps saying, I will not have mercy on these people because they continue to whore after other gods. I will not, Hosea, we're not going to have mercy on Gomer because she continues. So what happens is, Gehazi, once he got her, brought her, guess what she continued to do? She continued to harlot. She continued to go back and sleep with other men. She continued to do adultery. It even says that the children that she had was not all of Hosea's children. Ain't that something? Now, in the 19th verse, 2nd chapter, the 19th verse, God says, and I will bestow thee up unto me forever. Yea, I have bestowed thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercy. Now this, God said, now, okay, this is what we're going to do. Yea, I will bestow unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercy. Now, what does mercy do? All these plays a beautiful part, right? Loving kindness, judgment, righteousness, but this mercy, mercy does what? Mercy pleads every case. So here, God is having an aha moment. Somebody said, well, God don't change his mind. Now, it ain't that God, you ought to thank God that he changes his mind, right? The issue, man, is God don't change. God is still always God. God is always a God of righteousness and judgment and loving kindness and mercy. Even when he punishes, even when it said in the earlier verses that he's not going to bestow mercy on us, he still is a God of mercy. Can you imagine how Hosea's life is right now, where he's trying to prophet and prophesy and take care of God's people, and he got to keep running after this woman? He got to keep going back and forth down to the crack house or whatever to get this woman back and forth. But he has to follow the instructions. He has to trust the instructions. Well, other friends and family have said, you need to let her go. You should have never been with her in the first place. Other folks telling you what you should and shouldn't do. And it even sounds good to you, Jemima. But what you saying? But God. Amen. But God. But God keep instructing me, and I gotta what? Trust. I got to trust the instructions from God. So it says, so I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver. He bought her for a price. He had to go back and buy his own wife. How many know Jesus paid it all? Ain't that something? Bought for a price. If you was to look in Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, around the 1 through 5, it says that God loved us so that he gave Egypt and Ethiopia for a ransom. A ransom means what? He paid it all, right? He paid for us. He gave up Egypt and Ethiopia for us. Right? So that he could have mercy on, because he could save us again from ourselves and our own addiction. 43rd of Isaiah says, because we were precious in his sight. And here's God again saying we are precious in his sight. So he told Hosea to go and buy Gomer for a price. Hosea not understanding, but how many know we don't question God? We trust the instructions. The third verse, Hosea spoke over Gomer. Now, this time when God told Hosea to go, he said, now I need you to be confrontational. And that's something. He said, I need you to be the prophet over your wife. You prophesy to many people. You heal many people. You do my work with many people. Now charity starts where? So now I need you to prophesy to your wife. And he said, once he bought her and brought her back home, the third verse says, and I said unto her, thou shalt abide for me what? Many days. That means you don't go out this house. You don't leave. You don't go back to where you came from. Right? And thou shalt not what? Play the harlot. Those days are what? Over. Those days are over. Sometimes you got to speak over your children. You got to speak over your family. You got to speak over situations, over addiction, and saying, we just don't do that no more. That's right. I don't care if that's what we used to do. We're breaking generational curses. I know your mama was a harlot. I know your grandmama was a harlot. I know you run through a family of harlots, but today God has saved you. Amen. You can't go back. Don't turn back. Don't go back. Look at what God has brought you from. The issue is many of us are not comfortable in our new. Many of us are comfortable in our errors and in our sins, or where God, most women, if you find, they get out of an abusive relationship and into some type of abusive relationship because they go to what they are what? It's being content. You got to have a prophet, or you got to be able to speak over yourself and says, thou shalt abide for me many days. It's awful nice when you have somebody that care about you, don't you? Hosea, I don't know if he wanted to, but he found that God instructed him to still talk over this woman. Said, and thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. So he said, you ain't gonna be with nobody, and guess what? We're gonna sacrifice. I ain't gonna be with you either. We're gonna clean ourselves up. We're going to make sacrifices. We're going to set ourselves aside. Amen. The fourth verse, God speaks over Israel as he had directed and instructed Hosea to speak over Gomer. Now this is what God says for himself to Israel. But the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, without a prince, without a sacrifice, without an image, without an ephod, without anybody over them. Fifth verse says, afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God. He said, I'm not going to put nobody over them. I'm not going to give them a Saul. I'm not going to give them a David. I'm not going to give them no Hezekiah, nobody. He said, I'm going to allow them to sit and humble themselves and trust my instructions.
Amen.
Trust the instructions. Reminded of Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4:1 says, "Hear ye children, the instructions of the great I am."